everyone. I've shared those posts from the Dicastery of Human Development. Cardinal Cherney is actually a Canadian Jesuit, and it looks like he's done some work in Africa and he's there again to help them. So I'm sharing it for the people who are connected to me, friends, and some of the Jesuits are connected to me who are doing work in Africa. My cousin Ricardo is also training with the Jesuits. He's in America, and I'm hoping he'll have some time to come to Canada to visit me, or he gets some assignments here in Toronto so that I can spend some time with him. Sometimes they do come, but I just wanted to share it because I did work with the Jesuits when I was a student many years ago. I graduated now in 1998 from WITS, and any work I do from here, it's for Canada. It's to try to improve relations between here and South Africa. And since then, I haven't done any work there. I haven't gone back there. The Jesuits, they have nice properties and they have a nice home. I was invited by Mother Sabi when I was there to come to see their place because they had some event and I happened to be there at the time. So I had wanted to meet her, and she said to me, come to the Jesuit house because you'll be able to see Father Graham Fusion as well. So that's how I went there. They have a beautiful property with a nice chapel, and it's got a nice swimming pool. So, you know, they're not poor, let's put it that way. Unfortunately, they have not been able to help me to get involved, to give retreats and to help getting an income coming in for myself. I did ask Graham when he was here some years back, and I'd also written to Father Peter Knox, who was our chaplain when I was studying. I've kept in touch with him now and again, so I have a good idea of what's going on in South Africa, the changes they brought in and all of that, which kind of helps me, but it doesn't help me get an income and get support for myself and my mom. And that's my goal, obviously. And my sister is not part of what I do. My mom has met Graham, and she's met Peter as well. She's met Bruce Botha as well. Bruce is a friend of mine. So I just shared those so that you can see, if you're there, what they're doing, what they're working on, what their goals are. And for me, my focus is Canada, because over here there's systemic injustice. People like me who have disabilities are not getting accommodation for our health, for our religion. We're not getting positions in the church. Even though we've graduated from Regis, which is a pontifical college, we're not getting that support to work in the Catholic education space or in Catholic non-profits. And it's frustrating because yes, it is important that they work with Africa and they build Africa up, but what about us? So for me as a Canadian, I would like to see Cardinal Cherney taking more interest in people like me who are trained here, who are educated here, and we're not getting the support as visible minorities, as women, and we're facing systemic barriers, systemic injustice. You can't get jobs here, you can't get jobs in America, you can't even get jobs in England. So, you know, I haven't been applying from now. I've been applying from the time I came to Canada, and I graduated here in 2011. So it's a long time ago. I've built up life skills, life experience. I've applied my theology. And so for me, my challenge is getting that employment, getting that income. One of the things that we did with Sister Kathleen is when we looked at Project Home, is the importance of getting your home first. So with me, I'm renting, and that's nice, but I want to own my own property. Once you have your home and you have the stability of a home, and for me, I've been here 6 years now, so that's good, because it's awful when you have to move around and you don't have a home. that's why I also help immigrants and migrants who come into the community here. I mentor them, I help them get connected to the church. And for me, unfortunately, I'm not getting that support. I'm not getting invited out to people of my age group who are doing things together and going out and being involved in the Catholic community life. So it's frustrating, because when you elderly, you want to be with people who are your own age, and that's important. So I too also want to be with people who are in my age group. And I'm not 80. I'm not like, I wasn't born in the 50s or something like that. So that's a missing piece in the church here, especially for single people. And then the next thing is your opportunities, the jobs, which I talked about. And then your integration. So you meet people, the aim is you meet people, you go out and you integrate. And then the last step is employment. So for me, all of the other things are there, but it's meeting people and also the employment piece that's missing. And there's a lot of support for youth, for people who are in that youth age group. I can help with that, but I need those opportunities. I need to be able to earn a living. And also, I wrote to so many places at my mother's request, asking, can they help us financially? Can they do something for us? Nobody helps. And the same thing used to happen to my mother in Zimbabwe. After my dad died in 1977, nobody helps. So it's an awful way to live. I mean, thankfully, because the family helped me a few months ago with some money, I could pay my rent. And I do understand, you know, they've got 2 properties, they've got 4 cars between them in America, actually 3 properties the family in America has on my dad's side. They've got 5 cars between them, they've got expenses, so I understand, you know, they've got their own costs of living. But for me, the frustration is that I didn't do anything wrong. I don't have I'm not being let go from my jobs because I have mental health problems. I do a good job wherever I work, and I excel. I win Employee of the Month, and still I'm not getting those breaks. I'm not getting those good paid jobs that will allow me to buy a property. And when I did have a property, nobody was willing to vouch for me, to help me to retain that property. And by the time the people who had bought our property in Zimbabwe came through with the money, I had to sell my place. Because it basically, if I didn't sell it, the bank would have taken it over and I would have been left with nothing. So it's very frustrating, and that's why I'm sharing what I know about what's happening in Southern Africa and who I know there. And they are doing good work. Anne-Marie's had opportunities to go and give retreats in different parts of Africa. In Kenya, they've had the Pope visit. She's gotten to meet the Pope. And they've had, now they're joining with Zimbabwe very strongly. And Zimbabwe is very much not about promoting gay rights. So they will let everybody live in peace, but they will not promote it as a way of life. And there's that alignment that's coming in now with Zimbabwe. So, you know, let's see. But for me, I'm Canadian. I've made my life here. And I want to see things change for me and others who are here. Because our lives are regressing. We're not getting the support we need to move into good paid jobs, to move into employment, to buy properties. And especially for those of us who are on our own, who have sponsored our mothers to come to Canada, we don't like being in this position. And we don't like people viewing us as bums who are sitting at home who can't get jobs. Because it's not the case. The case is that the economic situation in Canada is very, very bad. And it's very hard to get work even overseas. It's hard to get jobs in America or different parts of Canada or even Europe, because I have applied to retreat centers in Europe. I've applied to different places across Europe and I haven't had any interest. So when they say, oh, there's a hunger in the church, they can't get enough qualified people, I don't see that for me personally. And so I just wanted to share that, because you're probably wondering, well, she's in Canada, why is she sharing this stuff about Africa? She's not involved in that one campaign anymore. That's true, but I am still involved in the church, and our church here does still build ties with Africa. So that's why I shared it, so that people can see it and they can read the reports, they can read about how our Canadian Cardinal is helping in Africa. And whether I will get those opportunities, I don't know. Maybe there's other Jesuits aside from Peter Knox and Graham Fusion and Anthony that would want to get me involved. If they are, you can speak to Malisabe. She was my chaplain at Trinity House, and she can help. She can help to connect me to you, because obviously I don't want to just connect with somebody that I don't know. I want there to be that trusting relationship. So maybe Sabi can help us to connect, and we can take it from there. But for me, it is frustrating, because I see all this support for Africa, all this money going in, everything, and all I see is the corruption and the greed and how they abuse that money. And people like me, we can't get any decent work. I mean, if Cyril Ramaphosa is washing his hands in 12-year-old Scotch whiskey and the ANC, and they're taking money by the suitcase and diamonds by the suitcase to the Arab nations, they have no pride in their country. Because what we do in Canada, we build up our country. We don't worry about other countries first and then our country. That's why Africa makes a laughing stock of itself. I mean, the Jesuits are right that they're supporting the people there, but they shouldn't forget how much I did for them. For Peter Knox, for Bruce Botha, for Graham Fusion. They shouldn't forget about that and pretend like I did nothing and they're not give me any special treatment, like when I needed to stay at Trinity House and Father Peter said no. I had nowhere to go, and I had a job, so my friends took me in. They had built a small little cottage. So once again, like with the De Silvas, I was put out of the main house, and I was frightened. The one time the crooks came, they took all the putty out round my window, and my bird kept moving and moving, so I got up and I brought the bird to sleep on my shoulder, and that disturbed them and they ran away. But there's no compassion for me from any of these Jesuits, and that's what I don't like, because Father Peter could have easily kept me there for another year. He knew I came from a poor family. He knew that my mother was a widow. He met my mother, but he still said no. So that's what I'm saying. I want people to start appreciating what I've done for them, and I want them to look for ways that they can actually help me, and just instead of only being concerned about their goals and what they are doing, consider what I've also done and help me for a change. I would like that, and I would appreciate it, and God will bless you for it.